It's Cosmic Girl talking about the Aquarius full moon in this video happening on the 9th of August 2025. Glad you're here. Trust you're doing well. So I have the chart on the screen here. We're going to look at the aspects, how the planets are all communicating at the time of this full moon in Aquarius. Wow, full moons in Aquarius. I mean, Aquarius in of itself, that zodiac sign is pretty interesting. But when you have a full moon lighting up things that are interesting, it can get really loud out there. It's a sign of people, society, humanitarianism, humanity, us mere plebs here on terra firma, running around on our beautiful blue planet, and the full moon's lighting it up. The moon is the transmitter of karma. It gets intel from the spirit world and it transmits it and it brings it down to the environment and the people here on this thing called planet Earth. What I really like about full moons is that we can cleanse our crystals, we can go outside and have a moon bath, we can just stand there and just go, wow. Look how everything's lit up at night. It's so wonderful. The light is bright. This is the moon's moment. This is the moon's moment to show itself. I really like it, a full moon. I love it, actually. And I hope you do too. Okay, so a full moon in Aquarius, about the peeps, about our blue planet. Wonderful full moon where we see things in a very sobering, realistic perspective. What's going on our planet right now? The moon is going, look at the reality. Look what's going on our planet. That's what this full moon is about. Look at it. So we look at the planet. Some will look at the planet and people in it from a very positive perspective. Some will have their noses up. Some will rebel. Some will protest and fight. Some will retreat and chill out in the Bahamas or hang out in a bud in Bali and have an ayahuasca or a cacao ceremony. We are all individual, but we are all playing in the same sandbox kind of full moon on the 9th of August. So in your own individual life, you can be individual whilst you're part of the planet. You can be fully all up in it, or you can detach and be Aquarian like and go, I'm just going to chill out and do what's good for me, thanks, kind of full moon. But it's going to be a full moon that I think all of us will have a 5-minute moment of going, oh, this has come to an end. I can see things very clearly kind of moment, which is what the moon does. It brings things into clarity that are otherwise obscured by the night. But when the moon is full, we see. So we are seeing us versus them, humans versus terrestrials, extraterrestrials, us versus our neighbours and community. Very Aquarian. We're with the status quo or we're against it. We like politics and we don't. We like science and technology or we go, nah, a bit too much for me. But that is Aquarius. And that's what this full moon's lighting up. How are us mere plebs here on terra firma responding to science and technology and advancement? Are we ready for it? Are we up to task? Are we all in? Or are we trying to separate ourselves from, the cold AI reality that's knocking on our doors quite strongly? This might all come into focus on the 9th of August. For better or worse, it again depends where you are in your journey, in your personal life, what age you are, what demographic you are. You're going to have a very individual response at the time of this full moon on the 9th of August. Okay, so last full moon was in Capricorn, ruled by the traditional planet Saturn. And also Saturn is the traditional ruling planet of the zodiac sign of Aquarius as well. So we've got like a doubling up of Saturn lunations of look at this, but Saturn, what is we looking at? We're looking at the times, man, of society and people. The modern ruling planet is Uranus. And Uranus is currently in Gemini, only at 1 degrees, and it's trining Mars at 1 degrees in Libra. And Mars in Libra is trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius at 2 degrees, and Pluto retrograde at 2 degrees in Aquarius is trining outer planet Uranus at 1 degrees in Gemini, the modern ruling planet of Aquarius. Really interesting. So we've got a lot of air going on here because we've got an air trine. So what is air? And so we think, well, what's going on the full moon? Well, we think about us versus them, how we all swim in this cosmic soup together and floating around with our ideas, our concepts, our opinions, communicating about them, thinking about them, tuning into prayer, taking a beat to enjoy our neighbours or people that we love to knock shoulders with. It could just be a lot of fun and banter as well. But it's a stimulating intellectual full moon because so the grand air trine, the intellect is being spun quite easily. So a lot of thoughts. So if you have mental health issues, be careful. And I say that with much love because with this grand air trine, there can be a lot spinning in the head. So keep your nervous system as regulated as you possibly can. Drink green tea, have nutritious food. If you need professional help, I'm sure it's out there at arm's reach. If you choose to extend that hand for support, it will be there. I sincerely hope it will be. So the grand air trine is really spinning really quite fastly. Lots of connection and tongues wagging and thoughts and ideas spinning on the 9th of August, which can be good, but it can be a lot and overwhelming for some people as well. So discernment, be Saturnian, take your time and be patient and go, you know what, that's not good for me. I'll step back and be okay with not engaging. So that's totally valid as well. So the ruler, Saturn, is currently retrograde in Aries. What I mean by the ruler, Saturn is the dispositor of this full moon in Aquarius. Saturn is the traditional ruling planet of Aquarius. So Saturn, being the dispositor, is currently retrograde at 1 degrees in Aries, closely configured to Neptune. Now, Saturn in Aries is trying to come to terms, for better words, astrologically, with being individual and getting going and starting something, but it's in an environment. It's in the environment of Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, where it's all about new starts, new beginnings, spring. Let's force and push forward. That's where Mars gets its associations regarding its archetypal meaning. So Saturn's like, oh, it's going to take time to push forward and start new starts. And it's not really content in Aries because Aries is the spring zodiac sign where it's all starting to grow and go in a direction. And Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius, and that's more the winter time of the year with tropical astrology in the West. So Saturn functions better in the cold. It's like Saturn's sort of like heated up here. It's getting heated up by spring. And like you want to put Saturn in the spotlight. Think of it like that. Saturn's in the spring zodiac sign and where the sun's exalted and the spotlight and the heat is on Saturn. Saturn likes to be filtering out on the outskirts, not really in the spotlight. Saturn likes to just chill. Saturn likes to, this way get these characteristics and archetypal meanings of Saturn, being individual and running his own race and being ignorant. Because he likes to be in the dark and just, chilling out and being more mystical. Saturn is very mystical, very beautiful, nuanced planet when you start studying Saturn. So Saturn and Neptune are currently retrograde in Aries at 1 degree with Chiron retrograde here at 27 degrees. And so these guys are ruling that full moon. Like, how are we all playing in the sandbox? So because Saturn is sextile to to Aquarius, but Saturn and Neptune are like sextiling by degree to outer Pluto and sextiling to Uranus in Gemini. So it becomes very confusing if you think there's all these other aspects and conversations, if you will, between planets going on at the time of this full moon. That's why I'm very sincere about if you have mental health issues or you're just finding it all just too much, use your discernment and step away when you need to take a breath and take a beat and detach. Do it. That's called self love and self care. No one else is going to do it but you. Okay. So this grand air trine, spinning. We have the outer planets and Saturn all connecting. We have Saturn and Neptune opposing Mars, the ruler of Aries. But I like oppositions. Now, why would I say I like oppositions? Quite simply, we can see the opponent. There's nothing confusing here what's coming up on the 9th of August for us all individually or what may be playing out on our beautiful blue planet regarding politics, science, technology, humanitarianism, protests, etc., etc. Because the opposition is something that you can see. You have a line of sight. So think like astrologically and think cosmically, well, what's going on in the full moon? Where are we at? Where's society at? How far have we come? We all ready to, soldier on. And the dispositor and ruler of the full moon, Saturn retrograde, co-present with Neptune at 1 degrees in Aries, a sign where Saturn's going, oh, the spotlight's on me to get going. I'm not comfortable in getting going. I just need more time. So the full moon, we can be experiencing, we may be pushed to make decisions, but the intelligence is coming from Mars in Libra at the time of this full moon, where Mars can discern and weigh the pros and cons of engaging or taking action just to people please. Okay. Because Mars in Libra, you know, is good at being individual amongst relationships and other people and will have a lot of intellectual discernment, especially with these outer planet connections, which is really helpful, I think. Even though Mars is traditionally in detriment, what does that mean? It's in Venus' sign of rulership. So the opposition is with Mars and Venus, the opposition, but it's not as if Mars and Venus don't see each other. But by sign, Mars in Libra and Venus is sign of rulership. We got Venus and Jupiter conjunct in Cancer, squaring Libra. So squares are tensions. Well, there's always a tension and there's always an opposition, but we know about them. This full moon, whatever's going on in your own experience or out there beaming out through the satellites on the planet, it's not going to be things that we don't know about already or that we don't know about a certain attention or a difference. But we're not all the same. Putting everyone under the same umbrella is redundant and futile. And this is where this full moon, I think, can benefit people, where we can take a step back and go, we don't have to totally be sold on what is going on the world stage. We don't have to be. We can use our minds to our advantage, our discernment and our intelligence. That's where I think Mars is really helped by Pluto and Uranus, and then connecting with Saturn and Neptune and Chiron. And even Jupiter and Venus in Cancer, where we're very aware of emotional security, the intelligence of the emotional body, and how it responds in kind to all this exacerbation and events that are going on around us at any given time or individually. We have an emotional intelligence. If it feels good, it feels good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's a pretty basic mantra to go by, guys. You intuitively know what's good or what's not. And this full moon might be the peak moment in your individual life are out there on the terra firma, on the world stage, we're not all going to agree with what's going down on planet Earth and how we're all responding to all this vast movement with advancements in AI and technology and science and people. While there's all this protesting and there's all this inhumane activity going on all at once. How can we be so confident and go forward with all of this stuff? This is where I think Saturn's really intelligent in areas going, let's think about the concept of time, patience, and effort it's going to take to start something and really get motoring. Let's just cool our jets. But Saturn's under pressure here to, well, it's in the spotlight, for better words. And Saturn's on display. So this feels like a full moon where we might be maybe getting out of our comfort zones, but not of our free will, because we need to take some sort of action. But there could be that push pull going on at the time of this full moon. I think it's a big one, actually. Now that I start to really unpack it. Okay, so I will throw out some mundane predictions. I'm going to do it. I did it last month, and I had done on previous couple of full moons. Okay, so with Saturn and Neptune retrograde and Chiron in Aries at the time of this lunation, I can see things like submarines, maritime, mariners, the sea, the ocean, oil, gases, politics and protests. I can see that with this full moon. I can also see a youth being really in the spotlight. Youth, for better words, being demonstrative or being seen or heard. So something about youth getting their moment of acknowledgement within the public. This can be a plethora of things, but children, I think, or youth will be in the spotlight on the 9th of August on the Aquarius full moon. So, yes, maritime, oil, water, oceans, maritime, submarines is what I'm getting, may really be in the forefront. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, who am I? I'm just an astrologer. Okay, so individually, where do you have 17 degrees in your own natal chart in Aquarius? Check that out. Could be a big moment where you're just feeling, do I, don't I? But whatever you're doing, or some like hypothesizing and weighing things up, the head can be really spinning and there can be a lot of correspondence and communication going on. But ultimately, this isn't a new battle. This is something that you've been enduring or going through for some time, and this could be the moment where it could just be like, oh, I really need to make a choice, kind of full moon. Okay, I'll leave it there. Till next time, everyone, you stay cosmic. It's